Hello everyone! While I'm getting to know this dog for the first time, please allow me to give you the rundown on how we got here. I just wanted to quickly mention before we begin, the extendable lead is allowing me to understand the dog's behaviour and it is not being used for training purposes. Recently, a local vet has come to my attention on a social media page. For all intents and purposes, let's call this social media platform Petbook, as I'm not sure the legal processes of saying that social media name on this video. Anyway, you get the point. I received this. After reading it through, I noticed a obedience competition that grabbed my attention. Entitled Primary, this required heel on lead, heel free, recall with finish. Sorry for the quality's advert, it seemed to be the only one, so if you found it hard to read, all you need to know is I'm interested in entering this class. I needed a challenge, and that's where this story truly begins. I'm going to take an unknown dog that is claimed to be untrainable and train them to win this competition. I know what you're thinking, this could become embarrassing very quickly. Now, let me tell you something about myself. I am a very competitive person and wish to make this as hard as possible. Which is why I'm also going to be entering and compete against my own dog. So, allow me the pleasure to introduce our new champion. Louie! He is a 4-year-old and likes to drive his family crazy. Allow me to go through his pros and cons. Let's start with the pros. Typical spaniel energy, very gentle nature, fantastic recall, willing to please, one very handsome boy, food motivated, ball and toy motivated, one happy boy. Now the cons. Terrible lead puller, short attention span, barker, stranger obsessed, dog obsessed, squirrel obsessed, stubborn, and a crazed spaniel. For further info on this, please find a spaniel owner. I don't have long to teach this dog. To make it harder when it comes to Louie's training, I'm only able to teach him on Saturdays for a few hours. We start on the 17th of June, which is today, as the 10th was too hot for a dog to train. So, it's the 17th of June, and the competition takes place on the Sunday, the 16th of July. Which means I only have the 17th of June, 24th of June, the 1st of July, the 8th of July, and the 15th of July to get this dog ready. Dog trainers like myself do normally prefer to train dogs in close time frames. However, in my mind, this just makes the challenge more interesting. Even though I have not got long to train this dog to become a perfect obedience dog, the first stage is to give the dog time to know me, and me to know him. When training a dog, it's important to remember never to rush a dog through any of the stages. Here are some clips from the first day of proper training. Please take into account, we are doing 5 minutes training and 5 minutes break, and doing that on repeat. After speaking to the owner, we have put together a plan where Louie will be taught to learn how to walk correctly on the left and to heel on the right. This will help the owner as they walk 2 dogs at the same time. 24th. It took at least an hour for Louie to remember what we had done on the 17th. Right, it is time for us now to focus on his routine. The heel work is important to focus on for Louie, yet I feel the ending is the most important, as everyone will remember how we finish. The advert mentions with finish, which means after recall, Louie must sit perfectly in front of me to perform a perfect finish. The first. Unfortunately, due to my own personal crazy life, I was unable to train Louie this weekend. Louie still hasn't been trained fully to stop pulling on the lead, and will try to forcibly interact with dogs, other animals, and people, which is why I've chosen to do something drastic, as we haven't got long left before the competition. 8th, which is why I took Louie to the Kent County Show. Please remember, I'm only doing this as I know Louie has the ability to be successful, so this is not ideal for every dog in its training. Training with distractions is a vital part of any training. As I can imagine, there will be distractions at the competition. We do this by teaching Louie to walk correctly and to ignore his surroundings. Today's aim is to teach Louie to learn to ignore all distractions. As you can see, at first Louie is wanting to pull other dogs, people, and anything else that looks more fun. Therefore, it's important we walk calmly and correct each pull. When Louie pulls ahead of me, I turn away at 180. However, when he shows signs of thinking of pulling me, then I will turn in on him. We want to end the training where we're turning on Louie more often, and Louie is looking up at me for direction. Being an energetic dog like Louie, this takes a few hours to master in this sort of environment. As he's worked hard for us today, it's now time for Louie to enjoy himself. 15th, getting Louie used to the community park where the competition will be taking place. Louie's heel at this point needs to be perfect. We are going to go through our routine today to ensure we can heel on and off lead and recall with a perfect finish. The owner has mentioned his pulling has come back, therefore we are going to also focus on that today. Here's our finished product with Louie. He's able to run without pulling on the lead. "16th. Soon, this place will be teeming with other dogs looking to take the winner's position from Louie. However, before it all begins, we sneak in another quick session. It's Louie's time and a chance for him to show off all of his hard work. Now, normally at this point I would say something like sit back and relax. However, this is where it goes horribly wrong. It quickly becomes apparent, as I have not personally been to this particular local dog show before. There are rules that I am unaware of. I have to say, my idea of doing heel on lead, then off lead, then doing a recall with a perfect sit for a finish died at this very moment. The poor judges had to explain that dogs could not be heeled on the right hand side of the trainer in this competition, which would result in Louie receiving penalties. There also would be a route which would be shouted by a judge at any moment, which is something I personally loved. It's now time for a recall into a perfect sit. Yes! As commanded, Louie performs a perfect recall into a sit. But apparently, this is not a finish. Judges explained that a finish is where a dog goes around behind you into a hill. I really enjoyed working with Louie, and I have to say, I completely fell in love with this amazing dog during this short period. After this tragic episode, it was Hera's turn. To her advantage, I roughly knew what was going on, and I felt it was only right if she too would be healed on the right hand side. And once again, not doing a finish as requested. It goes without saying, Louie and Hera did not win. But I'm still so proud of Louie, and it came down to me not knowing the rules that let the team down. If you have any ideas or competitions where I can train another dog claimed to be untrainable and compete, please leave your comments below. Thank you for watching. See you next time.